It was a 20-metre walk from court to the media after more than 10 years of waiting.
10 years we've been dealing with this. We've watched it, we've been subjected to it, we've seen exactly how it goes, and there is zero truth in this justice system.
Time hasn't diminished the anger Michelle and Phil Dodunski feel about their son's death.
These companies, in our opinion, complete cowboys, and they get away with it every time.
Gareth Dodunski was only 21 when he was fatally crushed by machinery at a coal seam gas field in Western Queensland in June 2013. He was employed by Saxon Energy Resources Australia. The company and a co-worker were both charged and convicted of reckless behaviour, but the convictions were overturned on appeal. The drawn-out legal process meant the coronial inquest didn't begin until last year.
They pretty much just torture your sanity because of this process, and it's just not fair.
The coroner found although Gareth Dodunski's death at the Santos Fairview camp in Queensland's Roma Basin was the consequence of a co-worker's mistake, it's not helpful to blame an individual, and there were other contributing factors, such as no warning alarms, no specific job safety analysis, no easily accessible emergency stop button, and a lack of experienced staff. The coroner noted,
in 2013, South East Queensland was undergoing a gas exploration boom. Whilst it could never make an excuse, companies like Santos and Saxon were experiencing severe staff shortages, which led to less experienced personnel operating dangerous equipment.
Systemic safety problems in Queensland's resource sector have been well documented. A 2019 report found Queensland's mining and quarry sector had a fatality cycle, where deaths in the workplace had become normalised.
The reason why these people died usually was because the controls that were meant to be there to manage the hazards were ineffective.
There is a lot of pressure on workers out there to perform, but also we work in the hazardous industry.
The most recent fatalities in the Queensland mining sector were only 6 months ago. 2 workers died when their underground vehicle fell down a hole at a zinc mine near Mount Isa. While an investigation into the accident is still underway, the resource industry body says it encourages all workers with safety concerns to speak up.
It is a constant process. It is a constant making people aware that every step they take, they need to think safety. Every job they do, they need to think safety.
The Queensland Government says it will be getting tougher, with new laws to be introduced later this year. And the coroner has made some additional recommendations, including giving gas industry accident investigators new coercive powers. Unions remain sceptical.
We've still got to wait and see what they are, but whilst we want to look to strengthen them, why won't we look at why they're not working? We hear government say, we're going to be a tough cop on the beat and we're going to do this and do that. Look at why they're not working.
Phil and Michelle Dodunski are better placed than most to make sense of all this. Not only have they followed their son's heartbreaking case for 10 years, they have a long background in the industry. Phil worked on oil and gas rigs for more than 20 years. Phil, were you happy with Gareth working essentially in the same industry as you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's not a dangerous industry with all that in place.
If the state safety is in place, if the companies adhere to what they know, and they do know it.
There has been changes to Queensland industrial safety regulations since Gareth's death, including the setting up of a dedicated unit for the resource sector, something Phil and Michelle Dodunski have been calling for.
We do commend them for doing this, but it's taken too long to do it. This battle's been 10 years.
Has it ever been explained to you why you had to wait so long?
No.
The justice system, that's what we got told once.
Yeah, we just got told this is the justice system.
But this is extraordinary, 10 years.
Yeah.
Is it just bad luck for you too?
Oh, I think so, yeah, definitely. But we haven't really got an answer for that.
Something needs to change so that people don't have to endure, on top of a horrific loss of any loved one, having to go through process that's just ridiculous amount of time.
The coroner said there had been substantial changes to safety practice since Gareth Dodunski's death, and it's a legacy that will not be forgotten. Do you think that there is a legacy that Gareth can leave behind?
There is.
There could have been more.
Yeah, there could have been even more of a legacy, but it's important, and it's got to be the minimum for Gareth, that there is a legacy. Just enforce your safety.